Hello and welcome to the pillar to post ladder inspection for address 3051 Eudora Street, Denver, Colorado 80207. Today we're accessing a basement toilet and we're going to begin our inspection at the city main. Now our purpose for starting the inspection at the city main is to first and foremost inspect your tap. Now your tap is the last 4 inches of your service line leaving the home, entering an 8-inch sewer main which we're currently looking at. Today there's a clay main to a clay tap, and I do deem your tap functional as you can see residual water flowing into the main rather than under the main. Now I did perform a pitch well grading test to ensure that water was properly flowing from inside the house out to the main, and how I go about doing this is I have a 1-inch camera head and a 4-inch line. I watch 1.6 gallons of water rush past my camera head and I time it for velocity and how long it takes to dissipate into the main. So from in your home to the main you need a 1/4 inch drop per foot in your sewer line, and I rate this on a grading system. So on the grading chart, you want to sit somewhere between a 1.2 and a 5.6. Today I'll rate your line right at about a 2.8. So you're not far off from the middle. It's not flowing too fast, it's not flowing too slow. It's almost right where you want it to be. We're going to begin our travels through this clay pipe, which is a great pipe used inside the sewer lines. It's been used for over 100 years, comes in 3, 5, and 8 foot segments of pipe, and they use a very secure fastening process for these pieces of pipe. They have a 4-inch outer sleeve and a 2-inch rubber gasket, and they actually compress the 2 pieces of pipe together for a secure fit. This pipe is also very temperature tolerant. It can withstand temperatures upwards of 140 and as low as 32 degrees. Now 32 degrees is the freezing point, but being very deep to 10 foot underground, there's no reason for concern as the earth does protect that pipe from the cold. This pipe is also very chemical resistant, and although it is, I don't recommend anything other than household chemicals to be put down the sewer line. So anything that says industrial strength or super strength, we do want to stay away from. Now what you're looking at right there in the bottom of the channel there is a minor tree root intrusion, so I'll explain to you a little bit about tree roots and clay lines. Now clay pipe gives out the presence of moisture, and tree roots seek out that moisture. So they look for the easiest point of access, which is at the joints. Now they only need a hairline entrance to get in, and once they get in they thrive due to all the nutrients inside that pipe. Now they start at what we're looking at right there as a tree root intrusion. Their second stage is a tree root curtain as they grow down the sidewalls of the sewer line. And the third and final stage of a tree root intrusion is a tree root wall, which we don't want to happen because tree root walls cause internal pressure on clay lines. It can actually crack and break them apart, as well as cause obstruction and blockages and restrict flow. Fortunately today I didn't see any tree root walls, but there are some intrusions, so we'll talk about those in a little bit. Now we're traveling through this clay pipe, and there's some offsets in the line as well, and this is common in clay lines as well. This is due to expansive soil and ground settling over time. But that's what these pipes are designed to do. That's why they come in shorter segments of pipe. So they have the ability to shift with the earth as it moves, and that 2-inch rubber gasket holds everything securely in place. Now on the left and right hand side of the pipe, and there's some more tree root intrusions and some debris that just caught up in the line that will make its way out to the main with a couple flushes. But if you see that line going down the sidewalls right there, that's your high water mark. And your high water mark is another way we determine a functional sewer. So if you were to have the dishwasher, the washing machine, and the shower running all at the same time, this is where the water flow inside the sewer line will be running out towards the main. Now from what I can see, it does stay pretty consistent throughout the line, so I do deem it as a functional sewer. Now there is some standing bodies of water inside the line here. Now these may be low spots, or they could be just caused by debris that's just sitting up in the line. Now we'll talk about the do's and don'ts of the sewer. About 70% of grease inside sewer lines come from your kitchen sink or garbage disposal. So it's not recommended to treat your kitchen sink or garbage disposal like a trash bin, meaning when you're done eating, anything you have left on your plate, scrape off into the garbage. Anything thereafter may be put down the drain. The foods you want to avoid putting down the garbage disposal or kitchen drain will be eggshells, coffee grounds, and fruit and vegetable skins or seeds. These materials are very dense and they like to stick to the sidewalls of the sewer line and typically need a professional cleaner to be removed. Now we did travel through a little minor standing body of water. That is a little low spot in the line. This is probably due to when they installed the pipe, they didn't compact the earth pulling off underneath the pipe. And over time it settled out just a little bit. Now I do deem it as self-purging, meaning anything that's sitting there the next time you flush the toilet should push on by out to the main. Now going back to your kitchen sink, if you're cooking with grease or oil in the kitchen, it's not recommended to put the leftover grease or oil down the drain. We tell customers take the leftover grease or oil and put it into an empty spaghetti or pickle jar, wait till it cools off, and dispose of it properly. Anything that's left in that powder pan must be washed out, but we like for you to use this process to do it. So So you want the water on full blast, and you want that water temperature to be cold. And the reason you want cold water running is cold water will coagulate or harden the grease and have it travel through your sewer line as a solid. That's where hot or warm water is actually going to thin it out and spread it along the sidewalls, which we don't want. Now one more trick, and this one's for your garbage disposal itself. If you've ever washed your dishes and noticed you get a pooling effect in your kitchen sink, and you got to flip that garbage disposal switch to make the water go down the drain, this is because there's grease built up in the garbage disposal itself. A free trick to eliminating that issue would be to have the water running full blast on cold, garbage disposal on as well. You want to pour a half cup of ice chips down the garbage disposal once a week for about 2 months. So after about 2 months, you'll notice that the blades spin freer and quieter. There's no more pooling effect in your kitchen sink. There's no odors coming from your garbage disposal, and it should make your garbage disposal last its lifetime warranty. Now right here at 47.5 foot, we're transferring out of that clay pipe into cast iron at the foundation wall. Cast iron is another great pipe used in the sewer lines. It's very rigid, being firm in place, being that it's a metal line. What we look for in the cast iron is the scaling and the corrosion until its age of functionality. Now if you see the top wall of the pipe is somewhat smoother and orange, that's what the entire line should look like. The two things you don't want to see in the cast iron line: one is blackness on the bottom channel, which means the debris has been sitting there for a long time and it's actually starting to corrode the pipe as it becomes septic. The other thing you don't want to see in the cast iron line are tree roots present. If there are tree roots present in the cast iron line, that means the line has been compromised, allowing those tree roots to enter. Fortunately today I didn't see any tree roots. There's a little blackness going on in the bottom channel, as well as all this debris that's sitting in the line. So I am going to recommend cleaning before closing to allow things to flow a lot smoother on down the line here. And that looks like a rubber glove or something. Someone flushed down the toilet, not recommended. Now, as far as your toilet is concerned, it's not recommended to flush any flushable wipes, baby wipes, or feminine hygiene products down your toilet. And there's a screw. These products do not dissolve or break down very well, and they like to adhere themselves to the side walls of the sewer line and typically need a professional cleaner to be removed. As far as cleanings are concerned, on the line as such, and there's just some human debris. For cleanings, being that it's a mix of clay, cast iron, and plastic, we recommend cleaning every 5 to 8 years using a metal scraper blade cleaner. Now, a metal scraper blade will come into the same access point I've used here, with a blade that expands to the width of the pipe once inside. It then spins in a circle, scraping and cutting back anything in its way and forcing it all out to the main. Now, a good cleaning company is typically going to cost you about $150, and a good cleaning company is also going to bring their own inspection equipment. So after they clean your line, they're going to verify that they cleaned it. Now, it looks like a piece of pipe or something that's sitting inside the line. So again, with that cleaning, they'll scrape all that clean and force it out to the main. And there's another piece. And that is a piece of cast iron. I'm not exactly sure where it came from. I didn't see any holes inside the pipe. But again, with that metal scraper blade, it'll scrape all this clean and allow things to flow smoother down the line. Again, you can see all the debris in the line is restricting flow. And right here at 16'9", we're inside the home where we're transferring into PVC pipe, which is used throughout the home. Now, PVC is another great pipe used in the sewer lines. It comes in longer lengths of pipe, 14 to 20 foot in length. So with longer lengths of pipe, you have less connections, and with less connections, you have less of a chance of tree roots or other foreign substances entering your sewer line. Now, they use a very secure fastening process for these pipes as well. And you can see here they use a purple primer and a PVC cement weld, but they also do use compression fittings on PVC. The temperature tolerances for this pipe are 120 and as low as -20 without warping and bending or freezing and cracking. And it is also very chemical resistant. Again, don't recommend anything other than household chemicals to be put down the sewer line. So I'm going to exit my point of entrance here in a second, and I'll show you my location. There we go. It is this toilet access here in the basement. Now, I do deem it as a functional sewer line, but I do recommend a cleaning due to the grease and corrosion and some of the debris that's left behind in the line, as well as those tree roots inside the clay. Now, in between your cleanings, every 5 to 8 years, we recommend using 2 different products, both sold at your local Home Depot and Lowe's, one for the tree roots and one for the grease. The one for the tree roots is called tree root foam, and the one for the grease is called the green gobbler. And how you use them is you flush them down your toilet before you go to bed at night. You let them cure for 8 hours while you're sleeping, so it's eating away at all the grease and tree roots in the line. And when you wake up in the morning, you want to flush all the toilets and turn on all the faucets for a few minutes to allow that big gush of water to come to the pipe and hopefully take some of that grease and tree roots with it out towards the main. Now, it doesn't guarantee like a professional cleaning, but it is a way to maintain in between those cleanings. With all that being said, this will conclude my inspection for today. So I'll say thank you very much and have a good day.